Hello and welcome to this exciting webinar this morning. Thank you so much for all of you for joining us. My name is Esther Simon. I am the trainer for the UK, and we're going to have an hour together with us. It's going to be a exciting hour. We have two very special panelists who will be joining us. There's a name that you will all know. She's an osteo, a physio, an entrepreneur. We love her. Is Nathalie Paradis. Welcome, Nathalie.
Hello, everyone. Very happy to be with you today.
Thank you, Nathalie. And you may not know our next guest, but he is very well known in our midst. He is our medical. I've forgotten what I've forgotten the name of your.
Yeah, just medical developer.
Medical developer, excuse me, is Tom Richert. So welcome, Tom.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for this great opportunity to talk to you all about this exciting protocol we have to present.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tom. We'll be hearing from you shortly. Thank you so much for all of you again for joining us. You'll have a chance to actually pop your questions in the chat box. We will take all your answers, but predominantly we'll answer them at the end of the webinar, towards the end of the webinar. You'll also get an automatic replay of this webinar if you've registered already. So without further ado, I'd like to actually introduce you a video that'll explain this treatment better. So thank you. I think that's a great video explaining about the treatment. So I'd like you now to pass it over to Tom. So you can take over, Tom.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, as you can see in the video, you saw some of the results that I will explain into more details in a few moments. But an LPG treatment is something that is quite special. I think anyone who has experience, would it be for aesthetics, would it be for recovery, would it be for anything, a treatment for therapeutics, obviously, knows that an LPG treatment is something that always feels good. And we have known for 38 years that this treatment not only is beneficial for therapeutic reasons, for aesthetic reasons, but we always felt that there was something more to it. And I think anyone that has experienced the treatment knows that when you come out of an LPG treatment, you feel better than before for some reason. And it has been in the books for years and years, and we've thought about it, we discussed it. Everybody knew, the thousands of practitioners that use LPG know that there was something more about LPG, and we have finally decided to put together a study to show what is it that makes it such a pleasant and has more benefits than just aesthetics. What is this feeling good? What does it bring, and why does it bring that impression of well-being? So let's put the presentation, please. Okay, thank you. All right. So, well, we all have, a close experience with what is happening. In today's world, we experience a lot of stress coming from any direction, which obviously brings anxiety, cognitive disorders, insomnia. We're all familiar with how much stress there is in our today's lives. Obviously, we know that stress, anxiety, and insomnia also has a strong impact on our immune system, and is going to make us more vulnerable to infections or getting sick, obviously. As a result, you probably have experienced an increased demand in holistic approach to your cares, to your to the services that your patients, your customers are asking for to improve their mental state, their vitality, and if possible, the quality of their sleep, which is absolutely key to a better life. We also know that the pandemic that we went through recently has triggered a 25% increase in the prevalence of anxiety. Okay, so that's a very strong figure, I think. Now, let's take a look at some figures also, which are, in my opinion, extremely interesting. If we take a look at the global wellness economy, it was estimated at about $4.2 trillion in 2017. And you can recognize in these little circles all the different items that this constitutes, personal care, wellness, tourism, healthy diet, etc., etc. Now, let's take a look at what has happened in a span of 5 years. And we can see that there's an increase of 33%, from 4.2 to 5.6 trillion, with a specific increase of 44% in the wellness. Physical activity has increased 61%, 53% in healthy eating and weight loss. Okay, so these items have grown specifically. And what specific item has appeared? It was neglectable maybe 5 years ago, and now it has appeared, which is mental wellness. And we're going to focus on this. What is mental wellness? Mental wellness is going to encompass mainly 4 categories. Self-improvement, which is going to be books and seminars that you go through, meditation and mindfulness, brain boosting, botanicals, nutraceuticals, and the environment in which you live, which are going to improve the quality of your sleep specifically and the space in your house. Okay, so these are very interesting items. So in order to prove that we were going to be able to improve the quality of sleep, decrease stress, and increase vitality, we ran that very specific study after creating a protocol. The Professor Christoph Auschwitz is the head of the B-Scored lab that took on this study. He's a very well-known professor specialized in this field. He's a research director at the INSEP, which is the National Sports Center, participating in 6 Olympic Games. He's probably one of the most qualified person who could run that study. So that's an extremely reliable lab and team to work with. Now that we created 2 groups, you're familiar with how studies are ran. First group is the control group, which was a placebo group. And the second group is the experimental group, which received the VSS protocol. Now, just take a look at the control group. Now, you have to understand that in order to make sure that this specific protocol was going to have an effect, and how much effect we will see in a second, the placebo group also received an LPG treatment, only it was not the VSS treatment. So that's why this study is such a reliable information, because you can compare 2 things that are very comparable. One group that received an LPG treatment, which is completely different, and one group that received the specific VSS treatment. And we were able to compare the results between these 2 groups, okay? And you can see that each group was about 15 participants. The sex ratio was similar. The age was similar. The BMI, the Heart rate was also quite similar with a moderate physical activity. Okay, so very reliable group that we can base the results on. This is just a table that shows how many items were visualized and retrieved from the participants regarding stress, natural defenses, sleep quality, and of course satisfaction that it was felt of this treatment. Now, regarding stress, how do we measure stress? They are very specific, the industry, and there are some items that are referenced in the world of science. First is the heart rate variability. Now, heart rate variability is a very specific item that is going to measure the distance between each heartbeat, which shows kind of the vitality of your system, of your physiology, and the ability of your body to respond to all the different things that will happen during your day. Heart rate is not supposed to be equal. A heart rate is going to adjust to the stress, to the relaxed moments, to any type of things that are happening along your day. And the higher your heart rate variability is, the better your health and your ability of coping with your environment is. Salivary cortisol, as you all know, cortisol is the hormone that indicates how much that is going to be produced when you feel stressful, when you feel stressed, and it was measured also in the saliva. Psychometric questionnaires are industry standards in order to see how people cope with psychologic functions. Cognitive functions are some other tests, and muscular pain are also very closely related to stress. Actimeter is the watch that you see here, which was worn by each of the participants along the whole period of the study, which is going to measure the quality of your sleep. Sleep is an extremely precise science. And this watch is actually very expensive, and is going to measure the time that you spend in bed, the time that you take to fall asleep, your actual sleep time, the latency to fall asleep, the actual sleep time, your still time, and fragmentation index is how many times you move during your sleep. Obviously, if you move a lot, it means that you don't sleep as well. If you wake up in the same position that you went to sleep, that's a good sign. And then the what we call the IC index, which is a measure of the level of insomnia that you experience in your life. Okay, so very strong indicators. And finally, blood samples to measure the level of your natural defenses. And the measure of natural defenses is what we call the T lymphocytes, which are the white blood cells that are able to recognize and destroy the microbes. Okay, so just for you to understand it, what we measured was the increase in your natural defenses while the person remained healthy. Okay, meaning that there was no infection or anything like this that could have made the lymphocytes go up in any ways. Now let's take a look at the results. First of all, heart rate variability, okay, as we saw, is a very strong indicator of your vitality. It was increased by 76.6%, which is huge. Cortisol level was reduced by 19% only after one session. Keep in mind, when I'm talking about after just one session, reduction of cortisol by 19%. You know the effect of cortisol on your body. If cortisol remains in your body over a short time, there's no problem. If you experience what is called chronic cortisol, meaning that your cortisol is too high on a chronic basis, then that can be very detrimental to your health. So 19% decrease after only one session of the VSS protocol, and 44.6% after the whole study, which was 10 consecutive sessions over the period of 5 weeks. Okay, Muscular pain was reduced by 69%. Stress and anxiety perception, okay, that's the perception of the participants who felt that their stress and anxiety was reduced by nearly 51%. Insomnia result, meaning that most people were experiencing mild to severe levels of insomnia, was reduced by 54.7%, meaning that most people who did experience insomnia after the 10 sessions did not experience insomnia anymore. So their sleep was tremendously improved. Okay, and you know what we say about restorative sleep. Okay, sleeping well is not just sleeping well. Sleeping well has an impact on everything in your physiology. It's going to be you will be able to improve your immune system, to improve your muscles, to improve your breathing, to improve everything is restored during a sound session of sleep. So that's absolutely key. Now, the cognitive functions were improved by 2.5% for accuracy and 6% for concentration, okay, which can be interesting when you talk about productivity at work, for example, or any type of other activity. And the natural defenses, the T lymphocytes, were increased by 9.4%. Okay, so to be very honest, I've been with LPG for 17 years, and I knew that there was really something going on, because this is something that is well known. And, you know, this company has been around for 38 years using that same technology. The patent has been improved, obviously, but the principle of the action, the mechanization, the mobilization of the tissue has remained the same. The philosophy is the same. We all knew that there was something going on that was really particular. And I invite you, if you have not, to try an LPG treatment in your life, and you will see what I'm talking about. So we knew there was something going on, but we all fell from our chairs when we saw these results. These results were beyond anything that we really expected. Now, last but not least, this is a standard satisfaction test that is ran throughout the world for any type of product or service. Okay, so you just ask a question to somebody: what was your experience of that service, of that product? What do you think? So you have three categories. One are the promoters who liked it. One are the detractors who didn't like it, and the third one is people who are neutral, no opinion. So when that was asked to the placebo group, okay, the control group, was 40% promoters, 13% detractors, and 47% passive, which is quite good if you consider that the objective was not for that placebo. These people did not receive the proper protocol. Now let's take a look at the result for the VSS group. 64% promoters who liked, enjoyed, and approved of the protocol, and only 36% passive and 0 detractors. Okay, which gives us a score of 64.4% of which is the NPS, which is the when you subtract promoters and detractors, you get the final score, which in this case is 64.4 because we had no detractors, which is considered in the industry as an exceptional score. Okay, so as a conclusion, what can we say? We can say that the VSS endermologie protocol can be proposed as an effective treatment to improve mental health and vitality. Now, as a business person, what do you perceive? What does that mean when you have that possibility in your menu? It means, in my opinion, after being in this industry for so long, that you should include it in your assessment. If you are able to propose that service, and we all know, and I insist on this, that the assessment is absolutely key to the livelihood of your business. If you assess people correctly, if you ask them the proper questions, you will build a very special relationship with them, and you will be able to propose to them all the services that you have in your menu. So obviously, you should ask questions about sleep, quality of sleep, about stress, about immunity, vitality, because you know that you will be able to propose this service in the end, in combination with aesthetics, with therapeutics, any type of other LPG protocols or other services you have in your center. Okay, so that's, in my opinion, a huge news that we bring for the quality improvement of your business, being able to improve stress, to improve sleep and immune system. So I will pass the hand to Nathalie, who, by the way, was the one who created this protocol. Thank you again, Nathalie. And now you will be able to explain to us what you've done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you very much, because you explained so well such an amazing result we get with this scientific studies. I think it's a big step forward in terms of all the practitioners that we are on the field for every session now on we're going to do, because we know that this machine has this incredible potential to bring back energy, vitality, reduce the stress, promote energy in the system. So we are now talking something that I like very much, and I know, Tom, you follow me on that. We're talking health benefits. And as you said, you knew for so many years and in the field, I'm speaking for myself, for other people that have been practicing for so long. You said very well how we had the feedback of people saying how they were sleeping better, how the transits were better, how their energy was building up. So now we have the proof, we have numbers, and numbers are always amazing. And what numbers? When we are talking about reducing the cortisol level, like you said, one session, almost 20%, it's a wow. And on 10 sessions, almost 45%. It's incredible. Cortisol, inflammation, longevity. I mean, we're talking health. And today I will present the protocol that we've been using. And I will put the emphasis, hoping that you're going to implement that protocol in your aesthetic practice. Like, as Thomas said, very important to do a proper assessment. And in this assessment, to talk about giving a scale in terms of fatigue, on stress, and depending the feedback you will have of your clients, patients, you will decide, do I put a VSS treatment as a booster or all along my session to get better results in terms of aesthetic, because it comes together. Now there's no more a question about it. You want to get results on cellulite. There's no way you're going to get the same result if you're not boosting the vitality and the physiology of the body. So now we're considering the people as a whole, and from the health side to get aesthetic benefits. So it's a brand new era for LPG. It's a brand new era for us. We are well-being practitioner, and it's I think it's quite exciting. I have to say, we've been practicing this protocol for more than a year now, and I introduced it in all my practice, even when it concerns just aesthetics, and it totally, masters the result in terms of the well-being for sure, but in terms of the aesthetic result too. So let's get to the protocol by itself. I think I have the hand now. Yes. So if you look at the definition of health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So we're totally allowed now, considering that health is not just physical, about not getting any physical disability. It's about mental, physical, and well-being at the same time. So we have the exact perfect treatment to provide, to maintain, restore, or accompany the person all along his life. So the VSS protocol, it's a 40-minute session. You have to understand that the thing was, we wanted to get deeper into the system. We are used to talk about the skin, the different layer of the skin, from the epidermis to the hypodermis and the dermis in between. Now we are talking nervous system, muscle, organs. So the challenge was to find a protocol that can be deep enough to reach organs and to stimulate our immune system and stimulate the pain relief and to promote and balance the nervous system, while we wouldn't be too hard on the skin. We will be also be very respectful for the circulation. So we had to manage settings and parameters that are deep and superficial at the same time. And that where comes the beautiful technology of the LPG Alliance Premium. This technology is all about rhythmicity that allowed us to be superficial. All of you know the 16 Hertz that makes us still very superficial on the skin and prevent and yes, respectful, and playing with the ratio cycle of the flap and the roll to get deeper in the tissues to get to an almost continuous mode. I'm going to be quite specific on the parameters because I want you to get that the protocol is very different than all the other protocols we've been using and we have in our machine. So that's very interesting to combine with what you have at the moment. So we combine 3 different actions. One will be the neurological effect. We are going to be directly on the spine, above the spine, directly above the medulla. We want to stimulate the nervous system, and one in particular, which is the autonomous nervous system, which is the one that will regulate your well-being in terms of when your autonomous system is fine, you're as well energized, but not agitated, and you're not, you are relaxed, but you're not tired, exhausted, and having no energy. So it's all about your nervous system, the autonomous one that regulates constantly your level of balance in yourself. So we will have maneuver directly on the spine. I'll show you how. Circulatory effect, that's the one that we all know with LPG for more than 30 years. That's the golden letters of this technology. Of course, we will be following the lymphatic system, following all the circulation, be very respectful to be with and never against the circulation. And we will also have in mind that people that comes tired, exhausted, in burnout, they have very often pain, muscle pain, which is also a sign of stress. When we're very stressed, we are aching everywhere on the body. Everything is painful in our system. So we have also directly maneuvers that have muscle impact in the system. So I keep going. I talked about a bit. We will use that protocol to boost your results. So it will be for you when you will be trained to decide probably to do the first session with and some during your package of session to get the result you want to have in terms of your aesthetic goal. Or you will be able to sell a package of 10 sessions of well-being treatment because the person that will come in will be really willing to get better and overwhelmed by stress. Or you will do just one session because, as Tom explained, we have an impact on the cortisol level just after one, which is incredible, and on the well-being just after one. 20% less cortisol means you reduce the stress immediately. So you have an answer. So I can tell you, for example, that sometimes I have my people coming in for a session. We are on a package of cellulite treatment, for example, and they enter the room, they're exhausted. They're so tired, they're so stressed for so many reasons. And I proposed it. I said, why don't we today change a bit the treatment? You will have the same circulatory and same impact on the fat and on the cells because we're very deep. But I'm going to specifically work on your well-being and release the stress in your body. And I think it's a key point to get better result and for you to just feel better today. And I have to say, I have no one that tell me, oh, no, I don't want to do it. I'm just interested in my cellulite, and it doesn't matter for me to be healthy and to feel good with myself. No, it never happened. It's just for us to really understand how this protocol works and how we have to promote it and to propose it. So let's get through it. So the result in one session, that's the key point. You don't need to do a package of sessions to get this result. One session, the HRV is increasing, so it shows that it reduces the stress 19%. Cortisol drop 19%. Again, that's a very huge impact on the stress. Look at the muscle pain, 38% less muscle pain. So now you have also the option in your menu to propose the VSS as a pain relief treatment. Don't you have people that suffer from back pain, lower back pain, neck pain? What kind of service can you give? You have the VSS right away. They will leave the table feeling so much better about themselves. So it's another key for you in your menu. Perceived well-being, 8.9%. It's huge. It's like, and you know that. What I'm saying is just putting numbers on all the feedback you on a daily basis have in your practice. So just to remind where we're working on, the autonomous nervous system is the one that, so you have the parasympathetic one and the orthosympathetic one. We are working specifically in the VSS on the parasympathetic nervous system. Why? Because it's the one that promotes the relaxation in the body immediately. In order to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, we have to be directly on the spine. Why? Because the orthosympathetic one, the one that promotes energy and that boosts us to want to, to take a run or get on the bike, is lateral to the spine. So I'm going to ask you, when you practice that protocol, to be very precise where you put the head of treatment. Because if you just 1 centimeter on the right of the spine or on the left of the spine, on the paravertebral muscles, you're no more on the parasympathetic one. You're on the orthosympathetic glands. So be very precise, follow the layouts. When you're going to come for the training, you'll see how we draw on the bodysuit, specifically the area where we are going, specifically on the nervous system. When it comes to the muscle impact, we are more large all around the back. You will see how we go there. And it's less specific. It's large, it's generous all over the back. But when we are on the pelvic again, we will have to be very precisely on the sacrum area, on the iliac bone. We'll show you how you drive the head all along the pelvic area. Again, remember, you will be pressing button that will promote immediate relaxation. You will go on the skull, basement of the skull, directly on the skull, at the mergings of the cranial nerves. It's another very powerful area. And to be there, you have to learn to be very precise again, because if you're not on the proper place, that won't work the same way. You will sure have result, but probably not the one that the study shows. The reflex massage, it's also one of the key we've been using, especially on the back and lower back and pelvic area. We've been using the deep massage reflex to have an impact on the organs. Promote relaxation to a different level, nervous system, muscle system, and organs. So we have to be above those areas when we are doing the session. The reflex stimulation, autonomous system, circulation, lymphatic system, blood circulation, that part you know very well. That's in all the other protocols of the LPG, and it stays in the VSS. We are, because of the suction, bringing the circulation from the depth to the superficial, from the depth to the deep vessels, It will infuse to all the layers of the skin, yes, but getting through there, circulation goes to the muscles, goes to the spine, go to the nervous system, and carry the oxygenation of all those layers. Bringing oxygen to organs promotes the function of the organs. So you start to understand how doing an LPG section, combining suction, rolls, flaps, rhythmicity, we are at all time promoting relaxation, circulation, and pressing button on the nervous system. So intense relaxation and release muscle tension. So the three level of action: nervous, muscle, circulation. Yes, let's get started. So the first step, you'll be face down. We start on the spine, up and down. We will be, I don't know if you see my pointer. We will be starting from the cervical, going down and up above the spine. If you look at the parameters, we are on the continuous mode. So it's a reflex massage with a very strong suction and with an intensity around 2.5, that will get to 3.5. You may think and ask yourself, if people have some back condition, let's say disc hernia, or had a severe surgery like fusion of the disc, or just back after surgery, can I be above the spine like this? I will say, yes, please do. You will be very efficient. Remember, when you do endermologie, you're not doing a pressure on the spine. It's a negative pressure. You're holding the tissue. So you're relieving the pressure that is actually on the vertebrae. You're bringing circulation, like let's say fresh air to the disc. You bringing blood flow to the disc and to the vertebrae, to the nervous system and the medulla. So it's an immediate release. Try it. In few minutes, all along the spine, you promote immediately the relaxation mode. From there, you will go lateral. You have the spine, you will be lateral to the paravertebral muscles. You're still in a continuous mode. You will go up and down, and then we'll go to the other side, up and down. You stay in a continuous mode, you will go lateral. Now you're on the muscle area, and largely, as I said, you will be covering the back, the whole back, from the scapular area to the thoracic area, to the diaphragm, to the square of Lom's, up to the iliac bone, both sides, and that will drive you to a 7 minutes treatment. From there, you go to the pelvic area. You will be again on a bone, on the sacrum. The sacrum is the basement of the spine. It's also where all the nerves merge from the sacrum area to all the pelvic area. For women specifically, the pelvic area is a key point in terms of circulation. It's like a gate. It's like a gate opening circulation from up the upper body to the lower body. Most of us, and especially during all the hormonal time in a month, we have like a congestion, I like to say congestion of traffic in the pelvic. So by massaging, bringing circulation, opening, increasing with this reflex massage on the sacrum, you're like opening the gate of circulation. Just that massage on the pelvic area for about 8 minutes both sides will dramatically open the circulation, and it's a key success in terms of cellulite. I've been using that reflex massage in most of my practice when it comes to cellulite, and I can tell you the results are amazing. So don't skip that phase. Don't think it's a waste of time. It's a key point, like the spine. It will just boost your results. So on the sacrum area, you'll be following, like you'll be drawing lines on the sacrum. You will use, I didn't insist on it, but the T80 for now, all along the back and the iliac. You will be on the iliac bone, like you were drawing the bone. So again, when you come to the training, we will use the pencil to draw on the body, so to be very precisely on the bone. You will be following the underline just Above the line of the buttocks, you will be on the arterial line. So you promote suddenly all the circulation to the legs. And you will be on the pyramidal area. So you decompress the nervous, the sciatic nerves, and all the tension that can come from the lumbar area. So when you will have been performing the back and lower back, from there, you're actually in the parasympathetic mode, and you have lowered the muscle pain and tension and opened the blood flow. So here we go. From continuous mode, we're going to add maneuver. The person is now in the parasympathetic mode. You don't want the person to stay there and to go too down deep in relaxation. Remember, they have to come out of the table and go back to work and feel energized. So we rebalance by adding maneuver above the spine and on the side of the spine. The maneuver will be in continuous mode. You will increase your intensity suddenly to 6 or 7. Don't be afraid. You will twist all along the spine above the epineuses of the vertebrae. And you will do stretch opposition maneuver on the side. So there, you're stimulating the ganglions of the orthosympathetic, the other side of the autonomous nervous system, the one that brings vitality to the system. That's how we balance it. We don't want to drop and lose the person there. So we're probably, I don't know, we don't have the video at that time. We have it later, and I can explain the maneuver. So the person is actually in a well-balanced relaxation mode. You keep the T80, the head. You don't need to change the head at that time. The larger the head is, the more area you grab at the same time. So it's very good. From there, you will have to go to the skull. It's a key other point in this protocol, because we want to be at the roots of the skull where merge the cranial nerves. Those nerves will go to the cervical and all the upper body muscles. But at the same time, you are on the spinal liquid, and you are on the attach, where the ligaments and the fascia attach all the muscle, the deep muscle of the spine will attach to the basement of skull. That's why when we're so tired, we have this big tension on the basement of our skull. And sometimes we're rubbing the head and we'll have a good massage here. It's because it's like all the fascia of the back are attached there, and they are pressing and pulling and creating so many tension in our back. So when you put the head of treatment with the suction here, the flap will be looking up, the roll will be looking down. You will have the bone, the occipital area of the bone. You'll have to learn to put the head with the roll, I'll say, where the muscles start attached to the skull, and the flap directly on the bony area. And you will let the head with the suction. There's no rhythmicity again here. We are on a bone, and the brain doesn't like to be shaked, so there's no point to use rhythmicity here. The suction will bring a strong circulation to the cervical area, to the nervous system, and in about 10 to 20 seconds, the person is gone, nicely, gently. If the person were very agitated, talking so much 100% cortisol high, it will drop suddenly. It's very powerful.
This is what you call stairway to heaven, right?
Yes. And
this is really how it feels. It's amazing. When you
Yes.
get that treatment, I can say, because this is how I felt it. And I've received many LPG treatments, but this sensation that you get,
Yes, it's incredible.
at the base of the cranium, is just amazing. Stairway to heaven.
And it comes from the Chinese medicine, and from, I will say, osteopathy, for people that know a bit about these techniques and the way of approaching the body. From the osteo point of view, or physiotherapist point of view, it's a key point of attachment of muscles and ligaments, but also from the more holistic and Asian medicine, it's a very important area of energetic point and the flow of energy in the body. So yes, that's a key point. Remember, depending the machine you have, you won't be able to do it. You need the T50 here. So you need to have the Alliance Premium, the medical one. So you now understand why, you know, the medical is really interesting, because you will be able to boost your result and you go to a higher level in terms of you know, the technicity of what you practice. If you don't have the medical, you will have to leave this area. You cannot treat it. There's no way the T80 can go there, and you will have to stop the massage on C7 at the basement of the cervical area, which is not bad, because if you stay in C7, where the cervical start to be the thoracic one, it's quite very relaxing too. So you will switch what you can do from that maneuver on that area. Of course, it's not as powerful as the one on the skull. From there, let's see the video. So here you can see the practitioner. 10 step. A static maneuver that it's hold and then position. So you hold the skin and at the same time you do a stretcher position. So that promotes a very strong relaxation of the muscles. That's the maneuver you will do at the time you are on the spine and before you go to the skull. So from there, where is the presentation? It should come back soon, I think. Valérie, if you want to, yes, bring it back to where we were. So we, from there, we go back to circulation. We've been to the back, to the pelvic. We've been to the basement of skull. Now we go, of course, to the circulation. We still face down. And now we reintroduce the famous, amazing 16 Hertz. 16 times per second, the skin is grabbed and released. That allow to preserve the skin, while with the ratio cycle, if you look at it, is 80, which means we did choose to use a continuous mode, as well as we want to protect, you know, all the fragility of the vessels. People can have poor circulation, people can have varicose vein. So we find a safe way of being very deep into the muscle, because that's the where we want to be and where we're going to get the results. But as well, we are LPG specialists, the #1 in the world about firming the skin. So we're not about for a treatment or a protocol that promotes relaxation. We're not going to forget all the rules we will apply always and forever in all our LPG treatment. So you will start from the proximal and go to the distal. You will go transversal, because it's very respectful in terms of the vessels. So this way you minimize all the kind of person you will have that have fragile veins, varicose veins, spider veins. It's much easier for the system with a ratio cycle 80 than going up and down. That will be too much of a stress for the vessels. So, and again, the 16 Hertz prevent you to damage anything. You will stay on the lymphatic nodes at the back of the knee, because we are doing here a lymphatic drainage. We are following the lymphatic system from proximal, distal, proximal. You will come back to the point E. You know, you go E to B to the feet, and you come back to E. It's lymphatic drainage. From there, you go to the other side. You start on the back of the thighs. You transversal, you go down, you stay back to the knee, because you are upon the glands here. It's safe and very powerful to drain the lymphatic system. You will be on the calf. Sometimes the T80 is a bit big on the calf, so if you can, it's a very skinny person, you can turn the head to be parallel to the calf. So, you know, when it comes to the calf, you use the head, position of the head, depending what you can do with, depending the morphotype of the person. From there, you've been doing both sides of the legs. you keep going and you will go to the feet. Another very interesting time that you can do with the Alliance Premium Medical, you have two options. I suggest you take the T50. So it means when you start your session, you have to be prepared. Your machine is set up with the T50 on one side and the T80 on the other side. Because in 1 second, you can, in the protocol, switch your head so you're not interrupting the massage too long, which is a key point also in terms of relaxation. And so you stop your T80, you take the T50. Personally, I pull the bodysuit up the feet, both sides, like a socks, natural socks. Again, because we want to slide on the feet easily. And as well as we're going to increase the intensity up to 6 and 7. Don't be afraid to be strong. We will have a continuous mode. Here we're talking about something that looks like shiatsu massage or fascia therapy. We are on our feet all day long. We have a very strong and tight fibrous tissue, and there we have the vessels, and you have nerves trying to merge there. If you want to have an impact on the feet, and for people that knows about Asian medicine, you know that you have the projection also of all the organs on that area. So when you are on the feet, of course you're on the circulation. Of course, you are on, as a muscle relaxant effect, very strong because you have the fascia that attach to the calcaneum, as well as in certain medicine, people believe you are creating and stimulating the functions of most of the organs in the body, the spine, all the abdominal area, etc. So we take it all, we put it in the package, and with the T50, you will hold the feet, the back of the feet. That's the one and just one time that you will be pressing with the T50 and your hands like in sandwich the foot in between, and use a very strong intensity, and you will move from the calcaneum up to the toes. And don't be afraid to go up to the toes. It's so relaxing, you can't imagine. You will stay in the arch of the foot because that's where a lot of tension are, and you will keep up and down. It said 3 minutes, so 1.5 minutes. I can tell it's quite long. You have plenty of time because it's a very short area. You can sometimes have trouble because people have very stiff feet or an arch very, very tight or very strong, you know. So you will just switch with the T30. The T30 is perfectly adjust with a strong intensity to get there. Most of the time the T50 is fine. If you don't have the Alliance Médicale, you will have to use your hands, and you will learn, we will show you how to massage the feet with both of your thumbs. Very deep massage, strong, from the toes up to the calcaneum, back and forth, following and pushing the circulation up and down. Voila. From there, we keep going. We are going on the side. It's another step, very important. On the side, we are addressing the diaphragm. It's quite brand new also, as to look at the body on the side and the diaphragm muscle. Why the diaphragm? When we're very stressed, we have a shallow breath. We forget how it looks like to take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. So first of all, you will position the person and you will suggest the person to start breathing like we do in yoga, with the nose. You inhale deeply with the nose, you exhale deeply with the nose. Why? Because we want to bring, when you breathe the mouth out, the air is never going to the basement of your lungs. So in terms of oxygenation, use 30 to 40%, which is not good enough to promote oxygen in your body. So very important, you breathe with the nose, person is on the side, and we have to be on the diaphragm. Where is the diaphragm muscles? It is like an umbrella. It is attached to the intercostal ribs, to the rib cage, sorry. At the basement of the rib cage, like an umbrella. He has pillar on the lower back. and is attached all along the rib cage on the last ribs. Okay, so literally where you have on the pictogram here, you have the head of treatment where it shows, it's where the diaphragm is. It's where the bones get then to the muscle area. So you have, when we do the training, you have to mark where the diaphragm is. Please, you have to be on the diaphragm. So you'll be on the diaphragm, you'll be above, you'll be up, and you'll be lower the diaphragm. Here you have rhythmicity, you have a 16 hertz, and each side will be 2 minutes. When you massage the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles, you allow the diaphragm to have a proper motion. The ampliation of the ampliation of the diaphragm will get much deeper, and it's a very important part of the relaxation. From there, we go to the abdominal area. Now we look at the abdominal area differently. You have the solar plexus, which is at the basement of the sternum. You will do small rotation there with a vibration. It is so relaxing. It promotes the, again, autonomous system relaxation. You will stay for about 30 seconds, and then you will go to the abdominal area. So we'll be finished soon, so don't you be scared, guys. I'm not going to be too long. The abdominal area, we are on a sort of a star. We are following the bones, so the basement of the rib cage to the iliac pelvic area, and we will not cross the medial line because we want to make sure we're not pulling the white line of the abdominal muscle. We will have 2 lozenges to do, 2 stars. Here we are above organs. On the right side, you have the liver and the gallbladder. You bring a deep suction there, so it's a strong detoxification and increase of circulation in your liver. The liver is a filter, guys, from the upper body to the lower body of all our system. So it's a key maneuver here to detox and promote health. So please be generous on that area. Then as we follow all along the belly, you will increase the transit and promote the bowel movement. On the left side, you will have the stomach area. So just in those 7 minutes, you stimulate deeply all the good function of the organs. And that's probably how we get those amazing results on the lymphocyte T, increasing 10%. Why? Because we are above the intestine. The intestine is a key organ in terms of the immune system. You know, the microbiotes are where all the cells that defend our system. So bringing oxygenation and circulation there, just if we stimulate the fibroblasts, we stimulate the lymphocytes. So here, guys, we are having strong health benefits there. From there, we go to the legs again. So we're still on the circulation mode, the way we were doing the back of the legs. We do the same. We are coming from the thighs, go to the knees, and go back to the thighs. And here we just have a ratio cycle 60, just because the front of the leg sometimes is more sensitive or fragile. So we reduce a little bit the ratio cycle. We have done it all. We will end it up again on the solar plexus, because that promotes again this deep relaxation. And don't forget the last maneuver, so interesting, that is coming back. The inspiration comes from the martial arts, where you know that when you do martial arts, we usually stimulate our sternum. Why? Because behind the sternum bone here, you have a gland, the thymus gland, that is very helpful and important in the immune system. To get there, you will try the T80. If you can't, it's a T50. But usually you can do it, and if the breath doesn't allow it, you will just have static maneuver to get there, and you will stay gently, nicely for a few seconds on the sternum area. It's so relaxing and soothing, you can imagine. You have to try it. So I think we've been seeing the whole of it, head to toes.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Nathalie. That was super interesting, and really, I'm sure everybody's like very excited after hearing that, especially. So I think you'll all agree that was incredible results, incredible treatment. So thank you so much. We have a question from Amy. She asks, who would be contraindicated to this treatment other than pregnant women?
So all the contraindications that are applied for any LPGA treatment are applied here. So when it comes to cancer, inflammation, disease in progress, you cannot have this treatment. So all the we will release, with the protocol, all the contraindication, but it's basically infection, inflammation, disease, chronic disease. You cannot do that because you promote circulation. So you will, make the germs go all over the body. So it's not the point. But when it comes to pain, back pain, you have to do it. It's not a contraindication. This is for it. Okay. When it comes to fatigue, to lack of sleep, to stress, this is the indication.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And as Tom and Nathalie pointed out, please do, tell your clients about this treatment right at the beginning of your assessment. So we would really advise you on that. Ask about stress at the beginning, take an indication, do a 1 to 10 scale of how stressed they are. So it'll actually help you to promote the treatment also. So thank you so much for your time with us. We really hope you enjoyed and learned something from it. We will answer any questions we cannot ask. We will definitely answer them later on. We have all your questions in our emails. So thank you, Nathalie, once again. And thank you so much, Tom, once again.
Very welcome.
And we will see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
Bye-bye.